My name is Sabrina Chakori and I'm the founder of the Brisbane Tool Library. The problem we are solving is actually to redesign the current economic system, and practically we are trying to reduce consumption and waste. And I think that reimagining the current society and phasing away from a culture that pushes us to consume always more, it's really important. And here at the Brisbane Tool Library, people can just share their resources, buy less, and by consequence, we're going to have less waste going to landfill. The Brisbane Tool Library really works as a book library, but instead of books, people can borrow hand tools, power tools, camping gear, kitchen appliances, Christmas decoration, and much more. To join the Brisbane Tool Library, people have to become a member, and it's an annual membership, and then they can borrow as much as they need. And to reinforce that business model, we also, to reinforce this revenue stream, we also organize a workshop where we can also share skills with the community and not just items. I came up with the Brisbane Tool Library as a practical local solution after being involved for 12 or more years in environmental movements. And I arrived at a point in my 20s where I couldn't choose anymore to focus just, on migration, refugee problems, on deforestation, on reef, on climate change. And so I just had to step back from all these problems and think, how are all these issues interlinked? And I came to the conclusion that our current capitalistic system based on economic growth is actually fueling all these challenges. And that's why I think the Brisbane Tool Library is a local response to a global problem, trying to explore new economic systems. When we started to seek our first members, we just went out in the community. We participated to events such as the Green Heart Fair that the Brisbane City Council organizes, small stalls. And for us that was very important, was even more important than spending money on digital marketing. And that's probably why not only we got a lot of users on board, but we also got a big, strong team of volunteers that volunteer every day. So we really redirect our business or our social enterprise model towards engaging directly face-to-face with community. Our first members actually signed up through a really small crowdfunding campaign, and we didn't collect a lot of money through that, but for me it was more a way to test the interest of the local community, and we had probably 60 members signing up, and for me that was enough, to keep working on this project. And today we have over 160, but we actually opened in a stable way just 8 months ago. So now the challenge is going to be how do we engage more with our members. But beyond whoever actually paid the membership, we have a lot of attention across the country, across Australia. And for us, that is actually the vision, is changing the culture of consumption, getting people to explore and think about new economic systems. So for us, that vision is almost more important than the transactional money that we got through membership. So we should probably agree that the social enterprise definition is a very broad one, and within the social enterprise sector we have for-profit businesses and not-for-profit businesses. So the Brisbane Tool Library is a not-for-profit organization, and being not-for-profit, it just simply means that our ultimate goal is not to seek profit, but we just want to create more employment, reinvest in the system. And on that definition, I think actually one of my goal is that one day we won't even need to mention that we are a social enterprise, because all business would integrate, ecologically and social sustainability and awareness. So we chose to be not-for-profit because it's also a statement again, seeking always, bigger profit, bigger margin, and forgetting those values. It is more challenging to be not-for-profit because you can't have investors, but as every small, medium business, that's part of the game, and probably beyond the core values of the Brisbane Tool Library, my personal challenge is how do we make a not-for-profit economically sustainable on time, and well, I work towards that. So we did a crowdfunding campaign, not a big one, and it was challenging. It was challenging probably because we weren't at a mature state where we had a solid network to pledge in. It was also challenging because we're a local organization, and a lot of crowdfunding campaigns aim at, global products, global services. So when you're local, your reality is different. And the thing that I personally found challenging is that all these crowdfunding campaigns, they have a lot of giveaway gifts and stuff that you usually purchase for really cheap and then send. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted eventually to give local materials, local products, or not to give anything, because if I'm reducing consumption, well, that goes against our vision. But nevertheless, we raised enough money, around $6,000, to pay for our insurance for the first year, which was, the biggest thing we had to pay. And here we are after 2.5 years. So I think the good thing about going through that crowdfunding journey was we knew our limits, we knew how challenging it was, and we didn't have bigger expectation, we were pretty realistic. Yes, at the Brisbane Tool Library we have a lot of tools. And beyond the fact that tools are related usually with masculinity or the masculine environment, is also that I physically, practically not a skilled person. So that was a challenge to understand all the safety regulation, understand how to test and tag, etc. And when I couldn't find anyone to help me with test and tag of the tools, I went and I did a course myself, and I was the only woman in the entire class. They were all men in the construction industry. And I really remember going out for the break with them and looking for a bathroom, and there was no bathroom for women. So of course I went home and I complained about that, and I had a few friends and saying, oh, don't be feminist. And I said, I'm not even asking equal pay or pockets in the trousers. I'm just asking for access to the bathroom. So don't call me feminist for such a low request for, equality. And there's nothing, there's nothing women can't do, and it's something that is such. I should not even be here talking about it. And I'm learning from other women more skilled than me, but I'm also learning from other men, and other men are learning from me. So we have to change inequality, whatever that inequality is, but the women problem is not a women problem, it's a man problem. And we have to point out when, we see those behavior, we hear those words, even if it's with our partners or family, that should be pointed out so that it can change. Starting a social enterprise is tough, and then working, to develop it even further is always a challenging journey. I should say that when I started the Brisbane Tool Library, I was unemployed. I finished a master's degree, so I have a background in science and economics, and I speak 6 languages, and I still couldn't find a job in Brisbane, which is the situation for a lot of migrants. When I arrived in Australia, I was alone, I didn't know anyone. And in that unemployment period, I just worked on casual jobs, but I thought, if I can't find a job and I have a strong character and I'm open, to create something, what about other people? So my goal was, of course, to redesign the economy, but also to create local jobs. So at the beginning, I really had to struggle between having really important meetings during the day and eventually waitressing or being in random shops in the evening to work. And at the moment, that situation changed. I'm also doing a full-time PhD, which is equally challenging. But every time someone borrows something, they're reducing their footprint. We're not manufacturing, we're not exploiting labor somewhere else. We're not, and just one item per person, that is all what we need to change the economic system, and that's what keeps us all going with my team as well. I think that I see the future of the Brisbane Tool Library at two levels, and one is to create local employment and engage more with the community around maybe Queensland to help reduce consumption. And the second level, which is a broader one, is the Tool Library bringing a new discourse about economic degrowth, post-growth futures, and redesigning and shifting that culture globally. So that's something that we can act globally with whoever is watching us today. It's always interesting when people ask me advices, because I feel I'm far from being, a wise person. And probably that leads to the two things that I just simply learned through my journey. And one thing is, you are who you are, and we all have, socio-economical different backgrounds, and you start from where you are. And I think asking and showing to people that you don't know, it's actually a quality, because we live in a society that they sell us, the perfect human picture in terms of, body size, in terms of intellectual, and we all want to achieve that perfection, but we're not, and we don't want to be, and that's the beauty. And so saying, I don't know, can you explain? I don't know that acronym, I don't know that business model, I don't understand, it's really important. And the second thing that I actually had to learn the hard way is to ask for help or seek support, not more time management, but for example, we needed financial support for the Brisbane Tool Library, we needed a space, we needed, all these things. And if you don't say it, people don't know about it. And especially when you're new in a new environment, in a new city, just ask people, because people are there not actively to help you, but most of people are more generous than what we expect. You can find us at www.brisbanetoollibrary.org, and we are also all across social media as Brisbane Tool Library.